CAD Swiss, moving on here. Okay, so broke this area here, came back up, retested. It's showing good price action, but it's at a major zone now. So can see this trade. We never really had a trade here, but it would have been really close. Obviously, I mean, you could have taken a trade here, but the zone is really thin. So you would have needed to, if you're going to use a stop loss, you would have had to wait at least for some more confirmation, like this candle. This candle was a perfect entry, but it just didn't really tell you which, it didn't really give you a good enough zone to enter on, but it gave you good price action to enter on. Ideally, you would have entered on like this candle, just kissing this zone here, but I mean, that's that's still a tough entry. I mean, that's kind of, you'd be more lucky than anything. There's not a whole lot of like significant confirmation there. There's just the hopefulness that it's touching the zone and it's the last rejection. But yeah, you can see making lower lows, lower highs. So yeah, this bear structure is still in play. It's perfect. So now you're just looking for a place that you could possibly enter that sticks out here on the 4 hour. I mean, there's this area here. I'm just trying to see if I can see anything else that would be worthwhile. I do think this is very bearish, and I do think it's going to break this zone, and then you're probably really good to go, but I don't know. I mean, there is a zone here, actually. Does it touch this? No, it doesn't. Okay. So there's a zone here. See, price came down, and then here it broke, rejected, broke above, rejected, 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 broke, held, broke above, broke below, rejected. So this zone is significant. How significant, I don't know anymore. We'd have to see what price does when it comes back up to this area. I don't personally love this zone. I'm trying to see if there's a better one that makes more sense to me to enter, but no, I mean, this really is kind of your best bet. So it's not too bad, but drop this down, something like this. You want price to come back up to this zone and test it and see what it does, which it very well could do, because this zone that it's trying to break right now is so deep, and it's going to have a tough time breaking it, so it might need to come back up for support. You know, basically there's not enough sellers in the market yet to break this zone necessarily, so what it has to do is come back up and hit a supply zone, which like this would be, and then it can gain momentum again. So it'd be something like this, but because right now it's going to run out of steam, because it hasn't, I mean, the majority of the sellers came in up here, right? So it's running out of sellers. It's going to need to gather some more. But, and you can see that it's actually, if this candle closed now, price is actually making a higher low than previously. So this really have to wait on this as far as shorting it. It's got to break this zone, and we don't know if it'll even break this zone. Price is way below this moving average, so I mean, it might pull back up a bit, might go flat for a bit. We don't know, but because it's at this major zone, there's no sense in taking a position yet. Just too risky, you're too hopeful, just, you know, praying that it's going to break this zone after it's rejected it 5 times, which, like, I do think it'll break this zone, but there's no sense in placing a trade and playing roulette like that when there's other currency pairs that we can trade, and there's clean setups and the momentum's there and everything else is there lining up perfect. There's no sense in forcing this one, but I would consider it more if it comes back up to the zone and rejects, and I can get a decent risk to reward, which I think I could. I mean, as of right now, you've got almost a double-digit one right here lining up. If it's something like this, keep stop above this area too. So something like this I would take once price comes back up and rejects this zone. So that's CAD Swiss. Have to wait until then. Oh, I'm actually going to mark this as well because this is huge. So you're sitting right at a major level here, and anytime price is at a major level, it's going to have a tough time. So this 65 level here, I'll put some zeros here so we know what we're talking about here. So this little level here is huge, so it's going to have to break this, and then if it does, then I mean we'll probably be good to go to head lower, but until then we have to wait. We have to wait till more bears come into this market, and they most likely will enter up here. So let that form, let that play out, and we will check back later with CAD Swiss.